Hi, everybody. Welcome to Hi Sensei. It's October 24th, 2023, and this is the first episode of the show. So today we're kind of just going to talk about a few random topics. I invited a friend, Red Pauli, on the show today. He's one of my good friends growing up, and we're going to discuss a couple of our interests and hobbies growing up and see where that takes us. So welcome to the show, Red.
Pleasure to be here. Hiya.
So we're just starting out. You can see I got my great setup here. Eventually I'll have my real gaming chair and lounge look something like this. I don't know if that's something that you're interested in, Red.
It looks good, man. If that's your future, then your future is bright. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I really need to get one of those chairs for sure. They're pretty cheap, but I might have to figure out how to get set up with a nice chair. We're just starting out here.
The beginning of something bright.
Yes, this is definitely the beginning. Got lots to learn, lots to figure out, but
I like
we'll get there.
I like the cotton candy clouds that you have in your ceiling there. It's very aesthetically pleasing.
Wouldn't that be pretty cool to have in your room?
I feel like every dream I'd have would be of some type of sweet treat. Like my head is resting on a pillow of cotton candy clouds.
Then you can just reach up and grab it while you're dreaming.
and then someone comes in and you're just eating your pillow.
Yep, exactly. Man. Oh, yeah. So how's everything going? What's on your brain this week? As far as, have you seen any new shows?
Have I seen any new shows? I recently saw the new Trigun series.
Okay.
And that was pretty sweet.
What do you think of that?
I liked it a lot. I thought it was really cool because they redid it. So for those who don't know, they redid Trigun, which is a classic anime. And I was never a huge fan of the original one. Like, I liked it, but there were some things I didn't like compared to other OG anime. But the new Trigun is awesome. I think they did a great job. The animation is really cool. But my favorite part was that he's kind of caught in the middle of this divided world. And his whole purpose, if you will, is to like try to find the peace in this divided world. And there's like two main sides, and both sides are kind of trying to say, whose side are you going to choose? Whose side are you going to choose? And he's like, why do I like have to pick a side, is his whole thing. And so he kind of like pursues like a path of trying to be a peacemaker in a divided world. I thought that was very applicable for today.
That's pretty different from the original then.
Yeah, the original is like, well, I don't even remember much about the original, to be honest with you, but I just remember that it never struck me as much as the other older anime did. So
I watched like the first 3 episodes of Trigun.
Yeah,
and I didn't make it any further than that.
Yeah, well, excellent. But yeah, so I've been watching that. I've been watching. That's the most recent show that I think I've watched. I've been watching actually some of like the Chinese 3D animation shows. I think they're called Donghua. If I'm saying that right.
Donghua.
Yeah.
Donghua.
Yeah. Donghua.
Maybe I said that right. I don't know.
Yeah, sounded
Chinese.
right.
Chinese seems like a pretty hard language.
Dude, yeah, any tone language. I had to learn Cantonese when I was doing volunteer work, and man, any tone language is so hard to learn. It takes a lot of time and effort to learn any tone language if you're a native English speaker.
Oh yeah, I had another friend in college, and he learned this language in Alaska. I'm trying to remember what it was called, but he said like 7 words in a row, and they all sounded exactly the same to me. And I was just like, what the heck?
You're just like, do you change words at all in that? Was that?
Yeah, he was like he said them in a row. It was like bow 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 bow, and they were like all different language. They were all different words. I was just like, this is insane.
Is that how he talked in English too?
No, not at all.
Hello, 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 hello.
Yeah, Chinese definitely. Some of these Asian languages or dialects are pretty hard for us Americans to try and figure out.
Yeah, I really want to learn. I didn't know this until recently, but like that in Japan, that for Okinawa they have a dialect. I didn't really know that until just recently, and so I would love to learn the Okinawan dialect and just see how different it is from all the anime that we watch and whatnot, like comparatively. So
yeah, we should check into that.
We should.
Maybe someone in the future can reach out and teach us the Okinawan dialect.
Maybe right now on the show, you should just Google, and we'll just start practicing a different language live.
That might work if we knew the characters.
That's true.
Or how to sound it out at all in the first place.
Does your show record? Does this record your computer's audio too? I never know how these recordings work. Like if your computer is to play music or something, would that like register on the live stream?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure that out in the future. I'm brand new.
Yeah.
So that I'll write that down and put that on my list for sure.
Yeah.
Something to follow up. I know that you can add in different music that's stored in YouTube that doesn't have any copyright issues. And so it's readily available to use. And we'll probably dub some of that in at some point as I go along and figure things out.
Yeah, definitely be good, like for the channel, like to just have more resources to use, like learning languages with an interviewee in real time, and then the community can judge how bad we are at.
Exactly. We can just post this video and people will hammer us, and so it won't even matter. We're learning by trial and error.
Yeah, we could try like every language and just have people from that country just tear us to pieces. That would actually be really funny. Just see how bad we are at each language.
Yep.
But who knows? Maybe we'll be good at some. You never know.
And then people can show us their English.
Yeah.
English accents.
Yeah. Yeah. We can.
Howdy, y'all. How you all doing today?
Yeah, they can make fun of English. True. It's true, man. Yeah, we're talking about how hard it'd be learning some other languages. It'd be hard to learn English, man. Learning English would be terrible.
Yeah, that's because the English language it's got like 10 different words for the same thing. And then they teach you rules, but you break them left and right.
Yeah.
There's so many I've seen so many videos of people learning English, and they're like, they'll give examples of words and then they'll give the same word and it's something totally different.
Yeah, I was watching this one, and it's this guy with like this flip chart. I don't know, maybe you can cut it in after, but it's this guy with this flip chart, and he it's like words with the same ending, and he's just like telling this story, but it's just hilarious because it's like it's like bomb. And if you get blown up by a bomb, or like first you're born out of the womb, and it's like WOMB, right?
Uh-huh.
And then he's like, but then you get blown up by it, and then he flips the first letter, and it's BOMB.
Uh-huh.
And that will send you to your, and then he flips it over. It's a T. It's TOMB, to your tomb. So it's like womb, womb, bomb, and tomb.
Yep. And now it changes the whole word.
Yeah. They have the same ending too, but it's a different sound. It's like womb. It's like and Tuum, I guess, is the same, but it's just funny. It's like a whole, and so he keeps doing this flip chart thing, and he goes through like all these terrible English words that don't make any sense or are super hard to learn for someone who's learning. Yeah, super rough.
If we get some more views on this ever in the future, as our first episode, it'll be interesting to know if there are other languages that have the same issue where you just change one thing, it changed the whole sound of the word.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, do other languages out there have that same thing where it's like one word with just the slightest difference has like a completely different meaning? That's a good thought.
So yeah, just reach out to the channel, Hiya Sensei.
Yeah, reach out to the
and
channel.
Hit us up.
Hiya Sensei, and let us know if your language is as crazy as English.
So I'm playing this. I'm finally getting into or trying to finish up some old games, I guess. And
very nice.
My brain is not working at the moment.
I
can't even remember the name of the game that I was going to bring up.
Lie, the first recording jitters are so real. Like, for anyone who's watching, like, the first recording jitters are real. It's like you don't even, like, even if you are prepared with stuff, it's like, oh shoot, dude, I'm being recorded. Like, people might watch this. It's terrible.
Oh yeah, it's a Fire Emblem game.
Oh yeah, cool.
On the Switch. And I'm playing through it. I really like it. Have you played it all?
Fire Emblem on the Switch. No, I don't even have a Switch.
We need to change that in the future.
I'm all retro.
Red.
I'm all retro games. You better edit that out.
I'll edit that out.
I'm a retro gamer, but tell me about Fire Emblem, because I know the old Fire Emblems. So
it's kind of the same as the original. It's all turn-based strategy, but it's got a storyline to go along with it, and it's a pretty solid storyline. And if you pick the wrong house, and spoiler, most people have probably played this game. It's been out for a few years, but if you haven't played it, spoiler.
You're out to be spoiled.
if you pick the wrong house, you get betrayed pretty badly halfway through the game.
Oh snap!
Yeah. So your main house leader, Edelgard, ends up betraying you.
Ooh.
Yeah. She's all buddy and like is trying to talk you up and butter you up, and then she's like, psych, I'm the bad guy.
Freaking Edelgard.
Yeah, it sucks because she's usually the strongest hero when you're playing to begin with, and then all of a sudden her and her friend Hubert trade sides, and now all of a sudden they're enemy and you lose your best characters.
They betrayed you. Well, that stinks. So basically, are they as strong as when they were your characters? Are they?
I mean, luckily, no.
Okay, because that would be
they get downgraded.
If they because I've played games that do that where my background keeps changing because I'm trying to be cool like you, Hiya Sensei, and just roll with this one. Anyway,
you don't want to be showing your house like that, Red. Yeah, come on,
house online. That's terrible. Better delete the whole first half of this whole conversation. Just kidding. But I have played games like that where you are basically training your enemy. And they're the best character by far. And then I can't remember, but some of the old RPGs you're doing that. Like they're in your team for like the whole first half of the game, and so you're training them, and then they're your best character, you always use them, and then they turn evil, and then you have to like battle them, but they were your best character. So
like what?
Man,
this is like the first game I ever played where you actually lose a character that's like your main character.
No, it's happened before in retro games. I can't think of a title right now, but I will. There's some games
I'm
too.
sure you will, because your memory on freaking random crap is insane.
So I think it was like Breath of Fire 4, but there's one of those where you are literally training the bad guy. Like, it's kind of cool though. It's a cool switch.
Okay. I mean, usually you're fighting like the end level boss, and then you unlock them, and they're like,
yeah, that's so true. It's like, it's like last boss when you're fighting them, it's like crazy strong, and then the last boss when they join your team, it's like they're just terrible.
Yeah, dude. It's like, come on.
Yeah. So true. So
I mean, most people when they play video games are so OP by the time they reach the final boss, it doesn't even matter. But
they're just spending all their time grinding and training until the game has no meaning or value, and they're useless.
Yeah, 100% useless. Oh,
true words, man. Well, maybe Mr. Beast will watch this after you post it, and then because it has 0 views, you will then get like $100 or something like that. I think he does that. He does that,
right?
He does that where he'll just find streamers with like, or YouTubers with like low view count, and he'll just like send them something.
Does he really?
Yeah, he does.
That's funny. Well, I mean, he is the master.
Yeah, he's the YouTube king.
He gets millions of views just on one video, which are pretty sick. He's doing an impressive job.
Yeah, he bought a whole studio now. It's in South Carolina or something. It's like a tire warehouse, and plus all the land around it. And yeah, he just works from there. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's impressive. Cool. He's doing a lot of cool things. I like the Squid Game stuff that he's doing. I think those are pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah, like the platform one was pretty funny. Seeing people fall through the platforms.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all like getting mad at each other because they weren't like people aren't going in the right order. They're like, it's your turn. No, it's your turn.
Yeah, dude.
It's funny, like social experiment. Like how do people devolve into Lord of the Flies?
Yeah, it's pretty quick, I think. I think there's lots of examples, even in the news, dude.
Yeah.
I think COVID was a freaking great example of how things evolve quickly.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's crazy.
But let's not talk about that.
You gotta keep your channel alive.
All right, so favorite anime growing up.
Oh man, favorite anime growing up. Whew, so many to choose from. I mean, I like all the classics. I'm just gonna rattle off. Like I like Rurouni Kenshin a lot. I like Yu Yu Hakusho, of course, Dragon Ball Z. I mean, I liked Yu-Gi-Oh too. I liked Pokemon. I liked all those. But really, like the classic was like the old back in the old days, like Toonami had like a evening block of like hour 2 hours of just shows, and I think they pulled them.
You're gonna age yourself here.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, they had this 2 hour block of shows, and I think they pulled the shows from Shonen Jump, but so it would be like literally those ones like Yu Yu Hakusho, Rurouni Kenshin, DBZ, and like maybe one other more random one. And I always love those shows, man. So those got to be the faves.
Rurouni Kenshin was one of my favorite growing up.
Yeah, they're remaking it. I just saw that they're gonna redo the whole serise just with like
as an anime or as a live action.
They did the live action, and I don't know how well it did.
Well, I didn't see it, so
shout out. I saw one of the live action ones, and I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, if you're gonna compare it to apples with the anime, then sure, yeah. I mean, maybe not, but I thought as far as live actions go, it was not that bad. Because I heard bad things about like I didn't see it, but the Bleach live action I heard was, just tough, rough.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about all the live action stuff. Like, I get that, like, as a artist, you wanna do something where it's live,
Mm-hmm.
but man, animes and like, especially like if there's fighting or like like a cool scene where like someone needs to like move around quite a bit, like
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just better as a cartoon or an
Yeah.
anime or whatever.
Yeah, you think of some of like the fights in like Naruto or stuff like that, where
Uh-huh.
where on top of like this crazy physical hand-to-hand combat, they have just all these things going on at one time. And as they're fighting, you're seeing these giant like beams come at them from the distance, and their blasts come out of the ground of Earth, and then just all sorts of stuff. And I think, I mean, I do think it'd be difficult. They'd have to just have like, I think they'd just have to have like a bunch of money, honestly.
Well, yeah, you have to either like design the set and the props and all the stuff that goes into that, or you have to do a CGI. Either of those are like super expensive these days, which is why they have like $300 million budgets or whatever on huge shows.
Yeah, and I feel like that'd be actually the hardest thing. I think you brought up a good point, is like, if I was to create that show, and I know nothing about this world, but I think a big question would have to be like, do I do this piece in CGI, or do I try to make it like real, right? Because it is a live action, so it can't all be CGI. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like, I think that would be the battle, is like, how much of this should be CGI versus not. And I think that I could see that being a struggle for like any creator. I also think, because I heard that the One Piece live action actually was pretty good. I haven't seen it yet, but I heard that most people liked it. Like,
I do want to do an episode later on that.
We should watch it. Maybe we could do a reaction video or something like
that.
But you've never seen or read One Piece though.
Yeah, I have.
Oh, okay. Well then,
so I've watched the first. There's over 1,000 episodes now.
Yeah.
And I have only watched. I'd want to start it from the beginning, and it is very difficult to start One Piece from the beginning because it looks like it's way better now than it was when it started. the first like few episodes of One Piece, I was just like, what the heck? How does anyone like this show? But you just have to remember that it got started like forever ago. And so the animation was different, the humor was different, the audience was mainly Japanese people. That's totally different now. All sorts of people interested in anime these days.
Yeah, you do, man.
Which is part of why I'm starting this channel.
Oh, that's pretty cool that you started One Piece. I didn't know that. Definitely recommend, if you want to get into One Piece, I would recommend reading it. So, because when you're doing the manga, you can just kind of crush through the manga, go at your own pace. It's not as slow. And you can get all the content way faster. You can go through the manga really quickly. You can read it really quickly. Whereas if you were to watch it, I mean, it's like 3 years of your life that you have to invest to complete the show. So yeah, I would recommend reading it until you get to the more, I guess, modern area, like some of the more recent seasons, and then start watching it. And that's when it gets really good. So
yeah, sometimes it's pretty painful to go back and to start from the beginning.
Yeah, it's funny. You mentioned like some of my favorite old anime, and I'm like, I wonder what it would be like rewatching some of those. I mean, I did rewatch DBZ like just a few years ago, and that was pretty.
DBZ is definitely one of the ones that's harder to watch from the beginning. Yeah. I actually think Dragon Ball is easier to watch than DBZ if you're just getting into it.
That could be true.
That's because the story is just, it flows easy and there's not as much screaming and powering up for episodes. Some of the early DBZ episodes of Power Ups can take 6 to 20 episodes.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I would agree with that. Dragon Ball, yeah, there's not really like any like ridiculous power jumps or whatever. Like, I mean, there's growth, but it's not like, yeah, there's not a lot of like sitting there forever. And yeah, maybe when he learns the Kamehameha, but anyways, but by and large, yeah, the story is pretty fluid and moving.
The anime itself, like the animation isn't, it's old, right? It's not super great compared to today, but as far as a storyline and like progression, I think Dragon Ball definitely is easier to watch than DBZ.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think even the manga of Dragon Ball, I mean, that's what really the whole world kind of latched onto first, and then it grew into Dragon Ball Z, right? And so Dragon Ball was kind of the introductory piece to all that. A lot of people in America, though, they first got into it with DBZ, but myself included. But yeah.
Yeah, and as a kid, it was funny, it was interesting, it was entertaining, but as an adult, as far as anime goes, DBZ is a little bit harder to watch as an adult.
Yeah.
So that being said, same era, Rurouni Kenshin is still just as good as it was. I rewatched that recently, and that is a phenomenal show.
Yeah, I agree. I think that show's awesome. I'm really interested to see what they do with this remake because it's an anime remake. It's not they're basically just redoing the anime. So I'm interested to see how that goes when they update it. I think it could be, I mean, honestly, if they just took what was and maybe condensed some scenes and then just enhance some, like it'd just crush it. I think it'd just be awesome. But I'm sure I'm sure they'll try and put their own flair on it. I just hope they don't go too crazy and adding to what was already really good.
You know what's crazy is some of the like fan art videos that have come up in the last few years.
Oh yeah,
they're so freaking good.
Oh yeah,
and maybe we'll pull up some of those in the future. But man, some of the animation that you guys are making is incredible.
Shout out to all of you creators out there.
Yeah, going back to the DBZ though, last night I was watching some random stuff on YouTube, and I saw a video, and it was Aladdin talking to the genie and asking for, you know how genie has the 3 wishes he can't grant or whatever. It's like you can't
it's like love,
bring someone back to life. You can't kill someone, and you can't make someone fall in love or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And so what he does is he wishes for all of the Dragon Balls. and then so he gets all the Dragon Balls, and then he makes whatever wish he wants. he's like, see, it wasn't that hard.
So perfect, man. So perfect. I love that. I thought you were gonna say that because there's like that scene that like Jafar wishes to be like the most powerful creature in the universe, you know?
Uh-huh.
That's how like I thought you were gonna say like he turns into Goku or something like that.
Oh.
Like his hair just goes like straight up and then gets all buff.
That'd be a good meme. You guys should make that.
Yeah, animators, creators make that video.
That's
yeah,
funny.
Man. Yeah, so much good content out there nowadays.
Yeah.
A friend of ours, he really likes this show called like Anime War on YouTube. And I guess it's this creator who has basically created an anime that combines all the main characters from all the other anime, and they go in this war. And I heard it's pretty sweet. So, but it pretty much fizzles out to where it's just DBZ characters and One Punch Man that are still like active at the end. So
I don't know if I ever watched that. I remember you talked about it before.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen it either, but one of our mutual friends has seen that, and he talks about it all the time. So
maybe we'll have to bring him on here.
We'll keep keeping his name a secret for now, but he's pretty crazy for all those watching. I mean, be excited.
We do have a few crazy friends.
So back to remakes. I know Netflix is making the Avatar series. Do you think that? I mean, I feel like it's almost always worth a watch, just to, like, see. But like, do you think it's going to be better? Because the movie, most people thought was just a flop, and I'm interested to see what they do with the actual show.
So, are you saying
They're
going to remake the original series, or the?
Yeah, they're making a live action TV series that's supposed to follow the original Avatar cartoon series.
Because that movie was not very good.
Yeah, we know because we all dressed up for it.
Yeah.
You remember that?
I even got my mom to dress up as the Blood Witch.
Yeah.
That was pretty freaking sick.
Yeah, like a Hama or whatever her name is. Yeah, the Bloodbender witch.
Yeah, I went as Zuko.
And I was the Blue Spirit. That was pretty cool. So in a way, we were the same person. Kind of weird.
We blended.
Yeah, that was cool. That was fun. That was a fun trip.
That was a good premiere to hit up.
I just liked all the kids that shaved their head. Like, I feel like half of the audience was just people who had shaved themselves bald and gotten like a blue permanent marker and just colored in an arrow.
Yep, I saw a couple of theirs.
Lots of respect.
I think the best costume I saw at that premiere was the Toph costume, though.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, that one girl, she crushed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was way good.
I mean, second to mine, of course, but yeah.
Have you ever been to any of these comic conventions at all?
No, I haven't. Surprisingly, no. I mean, yeah, that's a surprise, but yeah, no, I haven't been to Comic-Con or FanX or anything like that yet. I think it's just I gotta start working out so I could like get buff, and then I can like pull off like a Ryu, when I'm buff. Like, I feel like I'm like kind of tan, if I was buff, I could put on a gi, put on a red headband.
A Ryu from like Street Fighter?
Oh yeah, from Street Fighter, man. I could pull that off.
You better start working out a lot harder than you are now.
You're gonna break the camera with those bazookas you got going on.
No, I still got a lot of work to do too.
Yeah, don't we all?
But isn't it funny how like different shows shaped how you wanted to look when you grew up?
Yeah,
like the X-Men for sure. I always wanted to be Wolverine, and man, early years of college, I was looking pretty good.
Not just like Logan, you're ready to audition. They're looking for a new Wolverine right now.
Yeah, I don't think that's in my future, unfortunately.
Haya Senpai going to the big screen.
I'm looking more like the Steak Puff Marshmallow Man these days than any of the Marvel characters.
Yeah, I guess if I was to be a Marvel character, I'd probably be that Kingpin from Spider-Man. maybe the Blob, and
Yeah, I mean, I think we could pull off some Ghostbusters pretty easy.
That would be a good costume.
That was a pretty good cartoon growing up. I don't know if you actually ever saw that one or not.
I don't recall seeing Ghostbusters much. There is some shows like that I remember. Like I remember when like Godzilla came out, like the first American one with Matthew Broderick. I remember they made a cartoon about that. I remember watching that a little bit.
Okay,
but that's the only thing I can really remember.
No idea what you're talking about.
That's the only thing I can really remember.
Ghostbusters with Matthew Broderick?
No, not Ghostbusters. Is a Godzilla that they made the Godzilla with Matthew Broderick in it, and they made a cartoon about that. And I think that's around the same time frame that Ghostbusters was going. Maybe not.
Man, we're jumping all over the place.
Yeah, dude.
This is probably a pretty good indication of where we could go with this channel. So like I said, it's Hi Sensei, and just starting out. This is October 24th, 2023. We'll see where we are at in a year, and maybe we'll check back on this video.
Well, is that like a signal to the end of the show? Are we done?
No, we still got a little while to go.
Okay, I was like, is this a subtle cue that I should just leave? Like, am I being dismissed?
Goodbye. See ya. Thanks for having you.
Sayonara. So when are we going to watch this One Piece live action? When's that going down?
I'm good with this weekend.
I'll have to check and see. For those who don't know, I work.
Are you saying I don't work?
No, I mean, clearly with your cool, cotton candy ceiling, you got something going on. But
yeah, dude.
Haya Sensei works.
By the time of this recording, it's already out.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Haya Sensei works. He's got a very good job. He's worked very hard to get where he's at. He's amazing.
We'll see if I end up working.
Yeah, but I suppose that depends if his YouTube career takes off or not.
We're gonna have this take off. Yeah.
Well, sweet. Well, I am interested in knowing what is your favorite anime, since you asked me what my favorite anime was.
It's a hard choice. Rurouni Kenshin's at the top.
Classic.
My favorite still is probably Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
That one has aged very well. I think that has a lot of well done character development. The relationship between Edward and Alphonse is really, really freaking good throughout the whole show.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to me because when I started watching that show, I thought it would be a little bit simpler, but it's very dark.
Yeah.
And there's some very dark situations that happen, like when that girl gets spoiler
yeah,
transmuted with her dog. Man, that is crazy. I was just like, wait, what just happened? Did I really just put that in here?
Yeah, that episode is definitely the one that you like, it hits, you're like, oh my gosh, like, whoa, like this is deep.
Yeah. But yeah, just the relationship between Edward, Alphonse, Winry, and then like the transition with Scar, and like how like the redemption arc with him. That was a really, really interesting part of the show.
Yeah, I like that show a lot too. What I like about that show is they actually like kill off main people.
Yeah,
I know that sounds morbid, but like I think so many of the shows today, like they feel like you can't make it real in a sense, like you can't lose a main character, right? You can't can't have anything lasting happen to a main character. I think a lot of anime, they have like stuff that will happen to like parents or loved ones in that person's youth, that's like what it's about. But I think
it's about the drama, Red.
Yeah. So, but I think beyond that, like after you like establish like your core team or whatever, then it's like, it's almost like they have plot armor, right? They just like are impervious to anything. Even if something happens in the show or the manga that like it's like this big crazy thing and anything could happen, that these people X, Y, and Z are gonna live and go on, and and so like
you can't kill the main character because then it's harder to make new seasons.
So that's what I would love a show. I would love a show where the main character like dies, like, and then all of a sudden the story is about one of the subsidiary characters, and like it just completely shifts the paradigm. Like you're following this main character, and then all of a sudden something happens, and he just is no longer the main character, and all of a sudden it switches to like maybe one of the subsidiary characters, and it's told from their perspective moving forward, and like it has that paradigm shift. I think that'd be really cool. And
you just have to watch some of the darker animes that are out there.
Oh yeah, maybe I haven't dabbled enough in the
maybe we'll get into those in the future, but
yeah. Well, and I guess they don't have to like die if I'm being too morbid, but just like, you know, I don't know, it'd be cool if like there was a show that the main character changes, right? Like I think it'd be refreshing to be like like in the context of One Piece, like if like
if Zoro all of a sudden was the main character.
Yeah, like it's not about like maybe Luffy dies and like Zoro has to take his mantle, and it's about Zoro, you know, or whatever, or any of the other characters. So
yeah, it would probably be pretty cool if Vegeta was the main character in DBZ.
Yeah, like I mean, and with where DBZ is, I mean,
or if Goku stayed dead and Gohan and Piccolo became better characters.
Yeah, well, they tried to make Gohan and Piccolo better in this recent movie, the superhero movie.
But do you really think they succeeded in doing that?
Yeah, I don't know, and I don't love that. I mean, I think they're doing a good job with Dragon Ball Super. I think it's really good compared to like GT and some others, but it is still that whole thing. It's like, you know, Goku, like no one is gonna die. Like they're all just gonna keep getting stronger, I guess. I don't know. It's just kind of like that's the story, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I wish they could kind of change it up a little bit. I think they've tried, but at this point, are you know, after 20 years or 30 years of a show, are you really gonna like get rid of Goku or, you know,
no.
they can't
your
do that.
Fan base would just disappear.
Yeah, like there's too much.
So upset.
Yeah, too many people love those characters. So, and I get
that. A good publicity stunt, but I don't think it'd be good for your show.
Yeah, all eyes would be on Dragon Ball Super for a while if they pulled that. So,
or well, in the case of DBZ, you know, they're just gonna bring him back to life anyways.
Yeah, bring him back with the Dragon Balls.
Yeah.
That was the good thing about GT. That's like one of the main things I liked about GT before I bag on GT. Because I mean, I do like Super better than GT, but I think one of the cool things about GT was the premise of GT was basically like there is a negative effect to using the Dragon Balls so much. And that was really cool. And I think that was my favorite part about GT is like because they had used the Dragon Ball so much, it created all this negative energy that built up. And that's how these evil dragons were created, these evil Shenrons that they had to fight. And I thought that was sweet. I mean, that was a just super refreshing storyline and it also curbed the Dragon Ball usage, right? It's like, oh, we can't keep using the Dragon Balls. Like we need to let them sit for X amount of time, you know? So I thought that was cool.
I still need to watch that. That's the one anime that I haven't caught up on.
You don't really need to watch. It's one of those where you can just kind of read the Spark Notes. If you're gonna watch it, just watch the last season. Like that's pretty much the one.
I need to watch it though. I'm making a channel on this stuff.
Oh well, then yes. How could I be more knowledgeable about these things than Haya Sensei? I mean,
I think everyone's gonna be more knowledgeable than me, but doesn't mean we can't talk about it.
That's true, man. But yeah, that's what I like about GT a lot is that it's not just use the Dragon Balls. So your favorite was
Full Metal Alchemist and Rurouni Kenshin are probably top two.
I do feel like you brought up a good point. Like they've aged well. Like Full Metal Alchemist especially, it's like it's still good. Like Brotherhood, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, still good. Like and still good art and everything like that. To date, aged very well.
Yeah, and I mean like Black Clover. That one's a newer one that I really like.
Yeah.
Naruto, obviously, that one's
Classic.
classic.
Yeah, Shippuden, so good.
Yeah. Who's your favorite character from Naruto?
Oh man. So it depends. So like the original Naruto, like not Shippuden, it's like hands down Rock Lee. So good. Like he's
Yeah,
yeah, like the original series, I love Rock Lee. Like he just
dude. The first the Genin
yeah,
tournament
the beginning
with Rock Lee and Gara, dude. That scene is so sick.
yeah, that's like that's one of the coolest, and it's so cool because no one thinks Rock Lee's good. Like, and then he goes toe to toe with Gara.
Uh-huh.
And it was just awesome, man. And he's opening the gates that he shouldn't, and like so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, like that 10 seconds where he like drops his weights and they're like, oh, what's a bunch of paperweights gonna matter?
Yeah.
And they hit the ground.
Oh, dude, that scene is the best. Yeah, he's standing up on top of the statue thing. If I recall right, he's standing like on top of the statue and he drops his weights, and yeah, everyone's saying like giving him junk for it, and then they hit the ground and just like explodes the ground a little bit, like because of how heavy they are, and then he just goes nuts. Oh my god.
Like I can't see him.
Yeah, it was so cool. Yeah, but he's great because like I just love his story. Like he's always looked down upon. No one thinks he's anything because he can't use ninjutsu. So he just trains and trains and trains, and he never gives up. He's also way funny too. I mean, like he's like one of the best comic reliefs in all of that initial series, in my opinion. Like
he's so annoying, I think.
Yeah, he cracks me up. And and then when he's got like the drunken boxing later, and how that makes him, that makes him even stronger, right? When he does the drunken boxing, and
guys like, oh no.
Yeah, and guy like almost can't even stop him in that, like when he first gets drunk. It's so funny. Yeah, that whole thing is so awesome. Yeah, so I really like Rock Lee a lot. Growing up, I was a big fan of like any Sharingan type stuff. So I liked Sasuke and Itachi or Kakashi. I liked Kakashi a lot.
Dude, I thought Itachi was gonna be such a bigger role in that whole show.
Yeah, well,
I was so sad that they didn't like make it a bigger thing.
Yeah, I agree in some ways, but then I was reading this thing the other day, and they're like, because I guess Itachi only shows up in like 26 episodes out of like both Naruto and Naruto
Shippuden.
Okay. And but yeah, he's like one of the most favorite characters of like everyone, right? Like he's like that's how cool and good, like awesome he is, and like I was like,
well, that's why like you're expecting so much more from the character, like the key character development that they bring into the shows with him. It's like, wait, he just dies? What? What?
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Like he just he shows up. It's like 1 or 2 episodes. He just shows up and he's dead, and you're just like, wait, what? Like he's not like he's like an end bad guy or like help Sasuke train or anything. Like you don't even have like a side arc with him and Sasuke or something. Like that episodes. Come on.
It is kind of funny when you think about it, because like the whole show, Sasuke is like hunting his brother, right? Basically.
Yeah, dude.
And then when he finally finds him, he just wins. He just kills him. Like he just dies. Like Sasuke wins, and like that's basically it, right? So
yeah, he just does like the little forehead tap on Sasuke's forehead, and then it's like over, and you're just like, wait, what?
Yeah, you're like
that fight didn't even last very long. Like Sakura's fight with the Puppet Master is like 30 episodes, and this one's like 3.
Yeah, dude. I will say,
which, by the way, that fight is my favorite fight in that whole show.
Dude, I was just about to say the same thing. That fight is sweet. Like Sakura versus Sasori was awesome. The only reason I don't like that fight is because I feel like that's like her one moment. Like I don't feel like they ever give Sakura like a moment after that in all of Shippuden, like the whole rest of the series. I mean, she's got
she has like a support role the rest of the show.
Yeah, but that moment when she took on the Akatsuki, like that was like, oh snap, like Sakura's in the house. That was so cool. But yeah, Itachi, like I'm torn. I agree with you, and I don't like but then I also see like he was only there for so short, yet he was so impactful, and that's kind of cool. So, but yeah, so I like Rock Lee. I like Itachi too. But in Shippuden, I don't know who I like the most in Shippuden. Like not because Rock Lee is kind of like in the normal. There's so many great characters in Shippuden, but I feel like a lot of the character development was in Naruto. I mean, there's still more that happens in Shippuden, but like all of their growth was kind of in the first Naruto. So I don't know who would be my favorite, but there's a lot of good characters. So, but I'll stick with Rock Lee for Naruto. For sure.
I think Gaara is my favorite.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's got. It's funny. It's not funny, but it's interesting how many characters in the show have a similar background as Naruto, and some of them made better choices than others, and it's really, really interesting. And I think that's what draws people in is like we all have situations in life that affect us and are based on the decisions that we make with those choices will affect the outcome of our life. And so for Gaara, like, I mean, he was super violent. He had the same situation. Everyone hated him and like didn't like him, and that took him to a pretty dark place. And he ended up like hurting and killing a lot of people. But like Naruto, he stayed positive. He made jokes about everything, and like that's what like makes you love the character, and the fact that he goes through some of the same things as the other characters that he becomes friends with throughout the show. Like it just exemplifies the fact that people can change and improve their lives, and doesn't matter what the situations that you've been in, you can find a way to be positive and utilize the situations and events that have happened in your life and still be a good person.
Yeah. There's this quote that says joyful in any circumstance, and I think that's really powerful. It's not like the circumstances that define us, it's how we approach our circumstances. And that's not to say that horrible things don't happen. That would definitely affect people, but in the long term, we do have the power within us to choose who we are and who we want to be and how we're going to respond to the darker things in life. So,
yep. Yeah, but man, character development in that show's great.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's a single character in that whole show that you don't like know who they are and like are like, oh yeah, this is what happened with them.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. The more we talk about it, I mean, I could go on like, because I love Gaara too. I just love all of them. I always think back to like the moment when like Sasuke first gets taken from the Leaf Village, and then Naruto assembles the team to go get him, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's like all of their trial to like adulthood, if you will. Like, but everyone has their own battle in that, and they're all just awesome. Like when Neji fights that guy that's shooting those arrows at him, and just every single battle in that whole thing is just awesome. So
yeah, dude.
That's the one I would say in Shippuden. Like I feel like Neji wasn't as prominent in Shippuden because like in the original Naruto he was pretty prominent and he was like way cool.
Yeah, because they decided to kill him at the end of the show.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess maybe that's why they're like, oh, this guy's gonna die. So, but that would have made it all the more meaningful, like when he sacrificed himself for Naruto, if he had been more present throughout kind of show. And it's weird that he's not, because like at least growing up, he was considered a genius as well, kind of like Sasuke, right? He was supposed to be like the best of his age, and so then he kind of fades out. He doesn't really you don't really see him do anything in Shippuden of significance until that terrible moment when he sacrifices himself for Naruto. So
Yeah, man. I really like Shikamaru in that show.
Yeah, dude. Shikamaru is awesome.
It's funny because there's all this stuff online about Naruto's best friend. It's like on all the like the flashbacks and everything, it's always Shikamaru. It's like the whole show's about him finding Sasuke and like bringing him back or whatever. But it's just like, man, Shikamaru's there for him like every time.
Yeah. So true. So true. I think they play on that even more in like Boruto, because I think Shikamaru becomes like his advisor.
Yeah.
Basically. But yeah, I mean, in all of Naruto and Shippuden, Shikamaru is the one who like marshals.
He literally holds everyone together. Like,
yeah.
Even like the adult.
It's true, dude. It's true. Yeah, Shikamaru is the man.
Like when they go fight the Koski for the first time, and what's his name? Kazuma? I think it's Kazuma, right?
The guy who like does the thing where he like can't die if he's in the circle or whatever.
No, Kazuma is the
their leader.
Their leader, their team leader. And Shikamaru's like giving him advice, and such is like, what the heck?
Yeah, Shikamaru's the man.
Oh, great show.
Great show, man. Great show.
What's another show that you grew up watching?
That I grew up watching? I mean, I think I said Yu Yu Hakusho was right there.
Oh, actually, here's the question.
Yeah.
Digimon or Pokemon?
Oh, we're getting deep.
Digimon or Pokemon?
Man, I mean, definitely if you're gonna go the games, I gotta go Pokemon, like their OG Pokemon games. But so this is hard. This is kind of hard. I'm very torn question, because like for some people this might be an easy question, but for me it is not. So
why?
I grew up watching Pokemon more than Digimon. Played all the Pokemon games, all of those things. But I think as I got slightly older, not like much older, but as I got slightly older, I began to really like Digimon a lot more than Pokemon. I remember thinking that it was like way more realistic. I don't know, the battles and the story was actually like riveting and like complex and all of those things. And
dude, the show was so much better.
You think so?
Yeah, I watched that show every day after school.
Yeah,
and they were like right after one another, and I liked the Digimon way better, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I will always remember. So first off, both of their first movies, like the Mewtwo Strikes Back movie for Pokemon, fabulous, super great, amazing. But then the first Digimon movie, so cool, like so cool. Like when
I actually don't even remember watching the movie.
Oh my!
I just watched the show. I don't remember that first movie at all.
All right. We're not watching Netflix One Piece. We are watching the Digimon movie. Okay. And no, we are not too old, because it is amazing. I mean, that's where.
All right, Red. Whatever.
That's where Garurumon and Greymon fuse into Omnimon. Oh, so amazing. Okay. I can't believe you have. Anyways, It's a beautiful movie. If no,
I just brought up a very sore spot for this guy here.
If no one has seen those movies, you better go see those movies because they are amazing and will change your life for the better. I agree with you though. Circling back to I agree with you that the show is I mean, it's just a cool show. Like it's like, okay, the digital world that humans created has developed a life of its own, and now it's affecting the real world. That's a cool plot. Like that is a really, like, especially for the 90s, right? Like that is a really cool premise to a show. And
it's kind of like what Zuckerberg's trying to do right now.
the metaverse is going to is affecting our universe.
He's gonna bring Digimon into reality.
Yeah. As long as I get my my Agumon, I'm fine with that.
Okay. Yeah.
So, no, that's funny, man. Yeah. I guarantee that's not far off though. In Meta,
he must have been a fan of that show because literally, like, that's exactly what he's trying to do right now.
I guarantee as soon as like Meta becomes bigger thing, and especially like the augmented reality side of it, like you know, there's going to be like avatars that can follow you and you can interact with.
Oh, guaranteed.
Hands down, the brands are going to jump on that and create their own, like recreate their, like you're going to have Pokemons following some people and some Digimon following, you know, others and all sorts of stuff.
Have you seen his newest device, the glasses?
I did see a little blurb on those glasses. Yeah, those are augmented.
Yeah, and so it's like it's not the Meta gear. It's just like regular glasses.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, wow, we're getting way close to this type of technology. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it didn't explain very good what it kind of talked through it. Unfortunately, the thing that I saw, it didn't show what they could do like from a user's vision, but it kind of talked through it, and yeah, it sounded very intriguing. Like basically it's a computer interface right on your glasses, and depending on how you look or where you touch on like the side, you can do all sorts of different things. And
yeah, it's crazy how close to like these movies that we've seen we're getting with technology, where you could be like, you'd have glasses like that and you could look at a storefront and it'll be an ad or whatever.
Yeah. Well,
or have great. Your Digimon or Pokemon following you around in the real world kind of thing.
Yeah. What's really interesting to me is how fast even that, like, because with like Neuralink and stuff like that, like that's a chip directly to your brain, right? And basically your brain becomes a computer almost, right? You know, but then there's other things that go even beyond Neuralink, where it's like they can literally download information into our DNA, and our DNA is actually a downloadable, programmable information strand. And I thought that was crazy. And so we're almost getting beyond glasses, and we're entering like high level sci-fi where you know
we're there. Yeah.
It is crazy. Like there was this thing where they were talking about they sequenced DNA and they found out that literally it's code. Like it's DNA is literally essentially ones and zeros. They can extract information from DNA, and they found out that they can download information into DNA, and DNA can hold. I guess the previous problem was a storage problem, right? Like they couldn't find a way for enough data to be held in a certain place to actually sequence DNA to the fullest extent, like to download information on an entire DNA system, or something to that effect. I'm not, for those watching, I'm not an expert in this field. This is based off of videos. But
we're just two guys hanging out.
Yeah,
talking about random crap.
Literally two random just talking about random stuff for the sake of just getting the first video into the world. But yeah, so they were basically it was a storage issue because the amount of data that full DNA strand can hold is just enormous, and so it became a storage thing. But now they've essentially resolved that, and so it's quite interesting. I think the things that we will be able to do, but they're thinking, yeah, that they can start successfully downloading information onto DNA, and I think that's really weird.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, it's insane.
Way off of topic, but
it's not, man. I mean, think how many anime.
We'll get superpowers soon. Yes!
That's the next anime, to circle it back, is an anime about programmable DNA and like the effects and like what happens to the world when DNA can be programmed.
I'm sure it exists. There's actually, what was that one called? There's an anime where they created they started genetic mutation a while ago. They make genetic mutations, and then the humans and the genetic mutations leave Earth, and it's like thousands of years later, and they're still fighting each other for dominance out in space, and they ended up finding Earth again. And they the main character ends up finding like the old computer systems where she finds out that this alien race that they've been fighting for centuries is they're actually humans. It's the same race that was created on Earth.
Wow.
I forget what it's called, but that one was pretty good. I liked it.
So many good shows.
It's just a quick one season show. I'll have to put it in the comments later if I want to remember what that one's called.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I've been interested. So anime, because like, as you know, we've watched anime for a long time, and I've watched anime for a long time. I think I was something I'm
more than me.
Yeah, definitely.
I've probably watched more obscure shows than you, but you've definitely put in more hours than me for sure.
It's true words. But I've been thinking
a lot of hours to get through some of these shows.
Yeah, that's why I started reading a lot of them. It's just because then you can ingest it much faster. But I've noticed lately I've kind of been feeling like a lot of like Japanese-based anime and storytelling. I think because we've watched it for so long and seen so many different ones and stuff like that, it's like it's kind of getting a little samey. Like even what I was talking about before, like with the plot armor, but just like things like that, it's getting a little samey. So I've really been enjoying some of the content from other countries like China and Korea, and I've been watching shows from there. Really good stuff, and it's different culturally. You can tell some of the humor's different and all those things, and so it's a little
great stuff out there.
It's refreshing to get other countries in the anime game as years have gone, because originally anime was just like straight from China, basically, right? I mean, some that started here in America, but by and large, it's just straight from China. But now it's all over the world, and you have creators everywhere creating cool stuff in that same art style. That it's just refreshing takes from all these other countries. And so, not to say that I don't still love Japanese anime. Everyone out there, I love Japanese anime. I love Japan, but I've just watched so much that it's refreshing to get new perspectives on.
It's always nice to have a new perspective or a new art form or new way of animating.
Yeah, I think even when like Avatar: The Last Airbender came out, right? That was, I mean, I don't know that people define that as anime per se, but it's a similar art style. And look at what that did. Just having a kind of a fresh take in a similar art style.
I think the storyline for that one's key, but yeah.
And it's fresh. It was fresh. It was new. It was. I mean, it's not as though anime had never done the elements, you know, and elemental abilities before. Like that's goes back to Dawn of Time, but just I think because it was from a different country, because there was different backdrop to the creators and their lives, and it just had a cool flair to it that really took the world by storm. So
yeah, I agree. Well, we've covered a lot of different topics today, and grateful for having you on the channel. Again, this is first episode for Hiya Sensei, and hope to make a lot more of these videos in the future. Have a great day.
See you later. Thanks, Hiya.